All right. Hi, my name is Shane. I'm the Plastered Paramedic. This is my good friend Tay.
Hi.
Hi, and this is Dobby. You've met Dobby before. He's going to be on this show a few times. So, it is a Saturday night, Memorial Day weekend. We could all be other places, but we happen to be at home.
No.
But we weren't always home. We were in other places. So, stop it. When I'm not working my hospital job, I often walk, I run, I deal with his damned animal, I clean house, I do various things we all do. It's so boring, but genuinely, when we're not doing our healthcare shit, we do live our lives because we all have lives to live. Tay, what did you do today?
I went out with my friends to a Hardy concert.
How was it?
Oh, it was great. It was fabulous.
I mean, you know, what did your night entail? Like, what time did you leave the house? What time did you go to the party?
So I left at 3. We went and got these giant pieces of pizza at the wharf.
Uh-huh.
And then we checked in and we finally were able to kind of just sit and relax. First we saw Tucker Wedmore. That man. Ugh. And then...
She has a type.
I do. And then we saw Hardy, and it was great. Yeah, and almost got coerced into a rock pool.
But you didn't go.
But I didn't.
And why not?
I'm too jealous for that.
So what you're saying is not only do you have a type, you're kind of like a parrot. You know, you kind of like...
Yes.
You choose how to go for it. Well, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. We all have our eccentricities, if you will. Does that make sense? Anyway, so how long have you worked in EMS?
This month will be 9 months.
9 months. So you're still pretty new to the pre-hospital environment.
Yeah, 9 months. Yes.
I'm sorry, that's the air conditioning. It's very loud. You're going to have to speak over the air conditioning.
Okay, perfect.
If I can hear you talking, that's good because I'm deaf in one ear.
There you go.
But anyway, I know you know, but they don't know.
My fault.
So you've been in EMS for 9 months. What did you do prior to working EMS?
I worked registration at Baptist.
No,
Baptist Hospital.
No names.
Oh, sorry. Fuck.
So you work registration. You work registration at the hospital you used to work at. And now you work pre-hospital as an EMT.
Yes.
for the county you work at.
Yes, for the county.
But it's been 9 months. This is not a short amount of time.
No.
Like, you know, some people think that if you've been in your field for 9 months, you know everything, and some people think that's nothing. But either way, time is relative. I was an EMT for 14, 15 years before I became a paramedic. That's a long time. And I've been a paramedic for 7 years. Some people think that ain't nothing. Some people think that's too long. Either way, time is relative. So you have been an EMT for 9 months.
Yes.
What do you enjoy so much about your job?
I actually like the satisfaction of learning something.
What'd
Learning
you-
something new every shift.
And what was the most valuable thing you've learned in your most recent, on the last shift, if you will?
I actually learned that Decadron can be used for inflammation instead of just airway management, like in our protocols.
And how many routes can you use Decadron? Which two?
IM and IV.
You can do PO Decadron.
Can you?
You can. So they do make PO Decadron, but you know, whenever I go to my Omnisil or Pyxis at the hospital, it asks me to enter the route of entry. So Decadron can be used multiple entries, and that's why you have to know the 5 or 6, depending upon your scope, 5 or 6 routes of entry for any medication. But Decadron can be IM, can be PO, can be IV. It's a very powerful medication. A lot of my patients ask me, what does this medication do? And when it's Decadron or a steroid, I say, it's a wonder drug. It has it, you pull the trigger, it just goes into the ether. So Decadron is an incredible medication. You give it for?
Reactive airways.
But you can give it for so many things. It has pain, properties. It has.
We had a lady who had a ruptured lumbar,
Mhm.
and the hospital that we took her to use Decadron for the inflammation in her back on a drip.
And it probably worked pretty well. I had tonsillitis about 6 or 7 years ago in paramedic school. Tonsillitis, by the way, is the granddaddy of strep throat. Strep throat sucks. It's a little pain in the ass. Tonsillitis is the granddaddy. It absolutely wrecked me. And when I went to the hospital, I was given an antibiotic and I was given Decadron. And it made me feel like I could live again. I'm just being honest. It made me feel like, okay, it just put my body in a sense of I can get through this. That is Decadron, that is prednisone, that is steroids. They're not meant to be on for a lengthy amount of time. You can't live on them.
Well, I had a patient who was on, was it prednisone for a long time, and then we tried to wean herself off, and she like blew up.
So, prednisone it'll alter your heart rate, it'll alter your blood sugar, it will mess with cortisol, it will disrupt your homeostasis. So short term, it is a wonder drug, it is a superstar, it is an Olympic athlete. Long term, it is that bad habit. And I'm not an expert on anything except drinking and cars, haha, but steroids are wonder drugs for short-term usage. So I'm glad you know how they work, if only the public knew how they work. So you have been an EMT for 9 months, you know a few things about drugs. Would you like me to grab you a Smirnoff?
No, I can't.
That's fine, I'm not trying to, again, Taylor is not driving anywhere, she's not going anywhere tonight,
Nope.
She's staying where she is, but no more drinks for Taylor. Do you want a cowboy hat?
Yes.
Okay, in a moment I'm getting her the hat. Anyway, so before you did this, you worked in registration.
Yes.
Let's discuss that and let's discuss where you're moving forward
Okay.
while I get your hat.
Okay, so basically my registration, I would just kind of go in, update insurance, run authorizations. I collected co-pays, but I also got to see the trauma aspect of EMS and kind of like being able to talk one-on-one with EMS was always the best part of my job, asking the questions and finally being like the push I really needed. Because I love watching the traumas and the codes and like how they work and how the hospital was doing it, but I had always wondered like pre-hospital. So I would ask the questions, I would watch the things, and finally my friend Kevin Bowers and his partner at the time, Derek, were very much like, just do it, just do it, just do it. And I finally was like, I'm gonna do it. And then my other best friend, Destiny Collier, she was one of the ones that was like, let me help you figure this out. And she helped me sign up for it and figured out what I needed to do. And here I am.
Here you are.
Here I am. Furthermore, after this, I have a bunch of stuff that I need to get better at in my position. Like I said, it's only been 9 months. I need better confidence in myself, confidence in my ability to treat pre-hospital. I eventually want to either go the medic route or the nurse route. I kind of like pre-hospital. I don't like being cooped up all day. And I like having one patient at a time. So I can focus all my effort on this instead of trying to keep 4 people alive or 4 people comfortable, 4 people happy. I can focus on you and treat you the best I can, and then go.
So again, one of the things about being an EMT or a paramedic is that they're largely designed to be pre-hospital, whereas being a nurse, you work in a hospital. Very few nurses work outside of a hospital. Very few. You might have a flight medic, a flight nurse, but nurses largely work in the hospital. When it comes to pre-hospital, a paramedic can be ambulance, they can be air care or helicopter, or they can work in an emergency room. But being a paramedic or an EMT, it is just a level of qualification, it is just a level of certification. It does not imply necessarily where you work. Tay works as an EMT pre-hospital. I'm a paramedic in hospital, but many EMTs and paramedics I know work the gamut. It is not nursing. It is absolutely pre-hospital. So our education is largely based upon being the first on scene, being the one to assess and stabilize a patient and make a transport decision. And it is absolutely a team.
100%.
And I think that's one of the things different than a hospital is that pre-hospital, you have two people, EMT, paramedic, third person, a patient, and you have to discuss what is best for this patient. And this is incredibly time sensitive. This is not, we'll get to it later. We've got time.
What are we having for lunch?
Because the patient doesn't have time that we do.
Yeah.
So you have to rapidly make a decision. Is this patient stable? Are they unstable? Are they critical? Are they really sick or are they, how do we say not sick without sounding rude? Are they not sick?
Are they a toe pain?
Could they have walked to the hospital if they needed to?
Could they have gotten the people that are going to follow us in the ambulance? Could they have gotten them to just take them up themselves?
So I have a question for you. What is your favorite patient to take care of?
I don't know. This is going to sound so shitty. I kind of like a demented Meemaw. I like having weird conversations. Because, I mean, you're not supposed to play into it. But if that's what's going to keep them comfortable, hell, why not? I mean, yeah, that child is being crazy sitting over there on that bench. You're right. Let me tell them to stop. Quit that. They're fine.
Do you have a least favorite patient?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about it?
There's a specific, this is very, very specific.
Let's be clean about it.
Yes. Drunk psych patients.
How dare you? That hurts me. I am that person.
No. Like borderline personality schizophrenics. I have had everyone that I have had has either tried to threaten to kill me, threatened to kill themselves in front of me, or told me that I was going to die by the end of the night.
So would you say these are true psych or people who are abusing the system?
No, these are true psych, like on medications for it, diagnoses since.
But there's a genuine need for these people.
Yes.
They genuinely need to be
restrained. Oh, sorry.
Taken care of.
They do, and it's hard because when they do drink, it alters. Obviously, it alters. Drinking alters.
Again, what is the difference between poison and medicine?
Literally nothing.
The dose.
The dose.
The dose. So if we consider alcohol as a poison, or alcohol as a medicine, caffeine as a poison, caffeine as a medicine, the commonality is the dose. Work can be medicinal or it can be detrimental.
Yeah.
Let's go back to psych patients. Psych patients have a need, but I don't think our culture and our country emphasizes the actual taking care of these people who desperately need to be taken care of. And I think
what happens is they just go and then they sit in a mental health area until they sober up, and then it's
then my friends who work EMS, who go to school, who might have great experience or not so great experience, are thrust into this experience of being with people who genuinely have a psychotic need to see a specialist, and instead they call 911, and then they threaten to beat my friend because they have a need. And I think that's the thing, is everyone who goes to the ER or calls 911 or is hurt on the side of the road, what do they all have in common? It's not their color, it's not their income level or their education level. They all have a need. And so you show up to help someone. Are you ready to fulfill that need? No. because you don't always know what it is.
And
you
sometimes
can't.
they don't say anything.
And sometimes they say nothing. And you know what? Sometimes all you can do is take a hand and say, I'm here to help you. And sometimes you get hit in the face for doing that.
Yeah, and then...
So, you've only been an EMT for about 9 months. What would you tell the people who are going to be EMTs or paramedics or going into this field behind you? What advice would you give them?
Always keep an open mind and don't think that you know everything, because there's always something to learn. Always. You're constantly learning a new partner. You're constantly learning new equipment. The protocols are constantly changing with our supervisors and their expectations. Expectations always change. Always go in with if I don't learn something today, then I haven't done my job. That's how I live. If I don't learn something new every shift, I feel like I have not done enough. It's not about saving the lives, because I mean it's gonna come eventually, but it is about taking and learning and soaking up everything that you can to apply it to the next person to help them better.
So if you could talk to Tay 9-10 months ago, a year ago, what would you tell her? Do it again?
Oh, absolutely. But also quit being a scary little bitch, because they're...
Stop cursing, kids
Sorry.
watch this.
Sorry, friends. No, stop being... Don't let the fear of messing up stop you from pursuing further. Like, IVs scare me, and I will get them eventually, but I know as of right now that is not something that I have to know. I have to know our new system that they just rolled out. It's something that I'm gonna need to know. I have to know how my paramedic needs me to be in a situation. Like, IVs are not gonna be like my top priority. That's
So, what would you tell a person calling on one or a patient who just needs to get from point A to point B?
They make Uber and Lyft for a reason.
That's correct.
You have 2 feet. Did they look broken? No.
Okay.
Start walking.
You call 911. I was a dispatcher once. You call 911 when you're having an emergency, and not all emergencies are created equal.
Right. Here's my take on that, because I feel like calling 911 is a double-edged sword in a sense. Okay, because what we think is not an emergency, this person definitely thinks it's an emergency. And whether we show up and say, hey, actually, you're good, and they say, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, people have called 911 for stupid stuff all the time. But I have always looked at it as like, oh my gosh, this person has toe pain. Okay, what's the worst possible situation I can go into? Their toe is falling off. They're cutting their toe off, or their toe has been sliced to the
Or
point
they're
where
diabetic.
or they're diabetic.
Losing a toe is a really bad problem.
Yeah.
But,
or they could have just stubbed their toe and now, oh my gosh, my nail and I'm bleeding. I think I'm gonna die. Like, it's...
You need a podiatrist or a good nail technician. You
Yeah.
don't need the ER or the EMS service.
To me, at 911 calls, I always are like, okay, haha, that's a funny one. These people are crazy, but like, also, who am I to be like, you're an idiot for calling? But this person definitely thinks it's an emergency, and I'm here to educate, but not talk down.
Precisely, and that's all about perspective. I think on the previous video I talked about when you called 911, when you went to the ER, you were expecting to meet the heroes. You called 911, there was a calm voice who would tell you, it's going to be okay, I'm here to help you. When you went to the ER, it was the heroes, the doctors, the nurses. And then as I was an EMT, and then a 911 dispatcher, and then I became a paramedic, I thought, I've met these nurses, these doctors. I was answering 911. We are all just people. Mm-hmm. We're all just people figuring it out. Mm-hmm. But
and
if
that's
you
why I can't knock Meemaw for calling me because she bumped her knee.
and you know,
What if we're all blood?
I'm gonna agree with you. Some of my favorite patients are the little old ladies who just need someone to hold their hand.
Mm-hmm.
They need someone to say, hey, I'm not the best paramedic in my class, and I'm not the best driver, but you know what? It's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we all just need someone to take us by the hand and say, it's gonna be okay. Let's just raise a drink to that. So you need a drink?
No. Can't. I cannot.